What's up? What's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we take a look back at the early works of seasoned comedians before they were seasoned with this week's guest, Come Over Here. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, and welcome to Done Way Past Funny. I'm your host, G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Our guest for this episode is the one and only Come Over Here. Slick, Harry, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having
me. Beautiful. Now, if you don't mind, I guess, Harry, you can go first. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and then we'll do Slick. Well, we won't do Slick. I mean, we could do that later. But
I'm good either way.
Okay. So, Harry.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Harry Peace. I play Sticks for Come Over Here.
And my name is Slick Comey, and I'm on picks for Come Over Here.
Oh, cool. Sticks and picks. Is that like an instrument reference? Like or is that like a booger reference? Sticky. I've heard it used both ways. So I was just wondering how you refer to it.
Well, we go both ways too with that comment. So it's actually okay. I play drums and
I play stringed instruments.
Oh, okay, cool. So it wouldn't be unusual for us to see you playing harp on stage then.
Yeah, a harp, rubber bands, really anything.
Cool.
There's no limits for us.
Cool.
And I can count to 4, and that's about it.
Now, can you count to 4 times, or is it just a one-time thing?
It's once, and then I just hope and pray that it's the same the whole way through.
That's beautiful. That is great. Now, what is the inspiration for your music?
Well, we both met at the eye doctors and realized that we both had the same prescription for X-ray specs. And since then, we have been an unstoppable duo. And we take inspiration from all things around us. The experiences we have, the people we meet, most importantly, the trials and tribulations of people with unique eyeglass needs.
And the follically challenged is also something we're trying to speak up for. Letting people know that there's more than one hairstyle that you can wear besides just going completely bald. There is a way to cover it up, and there's no shame with that.
I can appreciate that. Now, as people get older, their eyeglass subscriptions usually get worse. Now, both of you are wearing X-ray prescriptions, but at some point, if one of you have to use a Y-ray prescription or Z-ray, would you both get it just to maintain the continuity, or will it be like, screw that, his eyes are getting bad, I'm keeping the X-ray, and he just has to use the Y-ray?
I think the likelihood of us worsening our prescription over time is pretty high. We do a lot of staring deep into people's souls, and we have seen some very dark things. So we suspect that the Y and Z prescriptions are on their way pretty soon.
Yeah, and they tell you not to stare at the sun, but, we don't like to listen to the authorities telling us what to do. So I catch myself staring at the sun all the time, all day, up until the evening, and then I repeat the next day.
Now I was told not to stare at the daughters, but that's for another hearing at another time.
I think so.
Now, how long have the two of you been playing together in the band?
What is it, like 3 months now?
Sorry. We started the band in 1984. And we spent the first 30 years or so, 29 years, sorting M&Ms and W's. alphabetizing. And then, once we got that sorted out, we decided to start playing music together.
Now, with the M&Ms, did you just throw out the 3s and the E's and just kept the M's and the W's?
Just the M's and W's, yeah. It took us a while to alphabetize, but once we got through them, we knew we had accomplished something great, and it was time to move on to a new challenge.
Now, is there any truth to the rumor that I started that the two of you started out with a full head of hair, but you used to pull out a single strand of hair with each sexual conquest?
There is some truth to that. Most of my sexual conquests have been by myself, but it did start off that way. And over time, you start running out of hair, and it's been my experience that even when I'm by myself, another one comes out. No pun intended, or pun intended.
Now, when that happens, do you have to match that to keep the work content? Do you call them and say, "I've lost another hair, Slick," and then you have to have an encounter to match that?
It's like he senses it. Like, as soon as I'm done, there's a message that comes through, and it's like, I can't believe it. Like, so absolutely. It's almost like we can sense when it's about to happen. And so I don't know what material that he might use, but, it just seems like right about when I'm about to send him a message, it already comes through.
It's possible. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. I think maybe the two of you are communicating through X-ray emissions.
That's not the only kind of emissions we have.
Okay. Now, is there any truth to the rumor that I will soon start that the missing hairs were used to make merkins for the follically challenge?
That's absolutely true. In fact, a few Christmases ago, we actually made each other our own homegrown merkins for presents for each other. Just happened to be the same year, and we thought, what a brilliant idea. We should start passing these out to the fan club as an exclusive every year. So that's really where we focus a lot of our attention.
But the problem is that
good charity.
The problem is though, I get so attached that I can't let them go.
I'm wearing 2 right now of Harry's finest specimens.
At some point, maybe you could auction them off. Once you're inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you should be able to auction them off to raise them, for charity, maybe.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, they need treated for crabs 2-3 times a day. So hopefully by that time, the chemicals haven't worn them down too much. But that's our hope.
And in the world, if you cannot have hope in a world like today, then why even try? I mean, now, is there any truth to the rumor that I started that the band almost broke up because one of you wanted to start using Rogaine?
That's absolutely true. And this is why we're down to just 2 members. There was potential of other members joining the band, but they found other solutions to solve their hair problems than just covering it up. So, less and less we started reaching out to them and contacting them, and it just ended up being the 2 of us.
Now, how many members have you gone through over time? And usually it's the drummers that go first, but you're still here. But if you follow the history, the documentary of Spinal Tap, that documentary, it's the drummers that have gone, that are lost to history. But in this case, the drummer has actually stuck around. So, and apparently are you the original drummer, or have you been cloned?
I'm definitely still the original drummer, and their drummers are flaky. You can't really trust them. They're super unreliable. I mean, I should know, but in this persistence, it just was these other members. We had guitar players that thought they were better than us, and they wanted to meet all these girls and get popular and everything. So they started turning to Rogaine and supplements and everything. And we are a drug-free band, so we are not going to take the shortcuts of those shortcuts into getting our hair back.
And I did not realize that it was that serious, that you're actually that committed to being drug free that you actually would give up all of those other band members.
Well, I mean, we'll take Viagra, but all other drugs are off the table.
Okay, well, Viagra is like the #1 recreational drug in use today. So
yeah, I mean,
you can't.
we snort it, mainline it, every morning with coffee. It's pretty much what keeps us going as a band, I think.
So that actually gives Harry a advantage because sometimes you actually use 3 sticks for your drum solos.
Exactly. And every time I try to give it up, it's like the hardest thing to give up. You just it's impossible. But it does give you some an extra oomph while you're playing. I know that Slick runs into a problem because it keeps pushing his guitar a little bit further away. But it is what it is, and we got to keep up with that stiff competition that's out there.
And I was about to ask Slick about that predicament with the guitar. In that case, do you have to raise the guitar up so that it's above the impediment, or do you just turn to the side? How do you adjust your playing style?
Yeah, I really have to kind of keep the guitar in front of it, lest I get charged with, sexual assault. So it's really got to stay in position to keep us out of jail.
Now, how many eyes have been poked out from the front row because of this issue with the Viagra?
Just 17.
17. Yeah. How are those lawsuits coming? Because I don't know how many of them are actually gone to court and how many have been settled. So a lot of this is like hush hush, like NDAs. So I'm having trouble keeping track of it. So if you don't mind discussing the NDA in public, which I think that's a thing now.
Yeah. So there's I think 3 class action lawsuits going on right now, and then some civil suits, a couple federal cases, a couple international cases. So yeah, we certainly our lawyer has his hands full, but we're still out there making it happen every day. Like Harry said, it's hard. There's stiff competition. We just got to keep, moving forward.
And I must say, all the lawsuits are all from Slick. There's probably not much down there for me to really cause too much problems. And I'm usually a little bit further away from the audience. So I got to give all the credit to Slick here.
Oh, well, as a certain former president would say, there is no such thing as bad publicity. So if your name is out there in the press, even if it's for, international intrigue, or would it be well, actually, you haven't crossed any borders. I mean, it's like it's been like, right? So you haven't. Were they like visitors from other countries or were you touring?
We've crossed moral borders many, many times.
Oh, okay, got it. Yes, something that there's a note right here about that. Now, before I show the clip, I have one more question here. Actually, two questions before I show the clip of your performance. One, this question is for you, Slick. I hear. As a tribute to Jimi Hendrix, you only use left-handed guitar picks. Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct. I have them custom cut to fit my right-handed playing, but they all are left-handed picks. Absolutely.
That's amazing, and it's incredible. It's one of those things that I think people should understand, that you're not just out there playing great music, you're also paying tribute to history
every night.
And my final question before the clip is to Harry. Is it true that your drumsticks were stolen from Frank Perdue's estate and that they are steroid and antibiotic free?
Yes, it's true. Way back in the day, before they started introducing, souping up the chickens, these were put aside for some of the great drummers of the world, and they refused to use them. And I just happened to find them one day, just kind of looking around on the ground. Of course, we can see with excellent X-ray vision, and I saw these bones, and I said, hey, these would make amazing drumsticks, and I'm going to use them, and they should hopefully never break.
I'm gonna tell you, I've watched you perform, and I'm just amazed that the things you've done with those drumsticks, and that they have not broken under the stress. I'm just amazed. You've got really good technique that I'm a fan. I am not a drummer, but I am a fan of your work. I've watched you intently for 30, 40 seconds, and I would have watched longer, but I got my eye poked out. Yeah, but I'm not suing. Part of the settlement was we got the interview. So
Great. And,
Yeah,
and I'm good with bones. I'm good with bones. So, I mean,
yeah, we appreciate you not taking us to court. It's allowed a lot of our resources to go towards those other lawsuits, so we appreciate it.
well, that's how we settle now. Settlement, just so the audience understands. I do not want to get poked in the eye again. I don't want people thinking they're going to get interviewed with me every time I get poked in the eye. This is a one-time deal. If I'm ever poked in the eye again, I am not settling out of court. I'm suing. But this time, mainly because there was no liquid involved. It was just a dry poke. And so I'm fine. Yes. So that's fine.
Unfortunately, these days, that's most of my pokes. Nothing but dust.
So we're going to play this clip now. If I got this correctly, this is detached mustache attack. And I don't know. Well, what was the inspiration for detached mustache attack as opposed to I guess that was the prequel when the mustache was still attached.
Yeah, we were. It was our first tour. We were touring caves, and we were attacked by just a swarm of mustaches.
Wow!
And so it inspired us to write this song.
Wow, that must have been a harrowing experience to be attacked by a bunch of mustaches while splunking.
I mean, these aren't grown. They attacked us, and they've been stuck there ever since.
Wow.
Yep. So we can't grow mustaches, but once the attack happened, we're lucky we just left with just one right here. We could have had them all over, but thankfully, just right underneath our nose, perfectly matched. It was amazing to get out of that attack as little scathed as this.
Evolution is amazing. To think that, because they probably were just leeches at one point, and because of the coldness in a cave, they developed the hair to keep warm, and then the warm moisture from the mouth and nose. It's just, evolution is amazing. I mean, they could have just opted and evolved to the point where they would just need methane gas, and then you'd have these attached back here. But evolution is amazing. Science, oh my God, I can't believe. I never even thought that we'd break out into a science thing based on detached mustache attack. I'm blown away.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Slick.
I was going to say we've kept the location of that cave secret, but once you join the fan club, you get the GPS coordinates, and you can go and officially be initiated into the Come Over Here fan club.
Okay, we will post that the website that is at the bottom here, comeoverhere.com, and so people can check it out and join, and if they want to have the full detached mustache attack experience, I recommend it. I grew my own, but that was because I did not know I had an option.
We didn't know
going to be a lot of.
We didn't know either. Still not quite sure what happened. Maybe it's reminiscent of every person that shaved off their mustache just goes to this cave. We're not exactly sure, but we're stuck with them.
Well, I know I couldn't grow a mustache until I was 23. I mean, but until then, I had like these. I would have loved to have that experience before I was 20, so I at least would look a little bit older, And now this, and apparently they don't age, they don't gray.
No, they stay
do
perfect.
They smell?
They rejuvenate and regenerate every day. We couldn't ask for much more.
That's cool. Now, do they have any particular aroma? You know, because most animals in nature do have a smell that they communicate with. And do the two of them still talk when the two of you stand close enough?
Usually, when they're kissing, when we're kissing, they'll kind of intertwine the hairs together, and kind of I don't know. There's a symbiotic relationship, I think, between them.
Yeah, and they kind of smell like hot dogs and Doritos a little bit. So it's a definitely interesting smell. But you know, we can't tell if anyone else can smell it, but you know, we can. But yeah, definitely it has a scent of like hot dogs and Doritos.
Oh, that's amazing. Kosher hot dogs or just regular? Because there's like, I think I will have to, next time I see you guys, next time you're performing, I will check it out and see which hot dog and Doritos.
Yeah, come have a sniff.
Yes.
Yeah, think of a gas station hot dog, like a low-end gas station hot dog.
Now, do you have to scratch it to sniff it, or is it just always there?
Oh, it's always radiating.
Okay, so it's not scratch and sniff. That's cool. That's cool. All right. We're going to play this clip and see you on the other side.
All right, enjoy. There we go.
Yeah.
So that first song was actually called "To Pay the Bills."
Right.
And then that went right into Detached Mustache Attack. That was from our very first show that we played with you. An absolute honor and privilege to have you part of that with us. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was great. It opened up a whole new career for me, as a matter of fact. Because before then, I didn't know how to play guitar or sing or write. Matter of fact, I hadn't even done comedy. I just said, I saw an ad and went, let me try this. I mean, hell, if Kevin Hart can do comedy, I can do comedy.
Yeah, well, I think the ad was for what, day labor, and you showed up and tried your hand at comedy, and it worked.
And I was surprised that the day labor started that late at night, but yeah. Brad, Pete, now if you guys don't mind introducing yourselves as your real selves to the audience so they have an idea who's who. I guess Go ahead.
So in Come Over Here, I'm known as Harry Peace, but my real name is Pete Beedorf, and I actually do play the drums.
And in Comb Over Here, I'm Slick Comey, but my real name is Pete Beedorf, and I play the drums. No, my name is Brad Grissinger, and I play guitar for Comb Over Here.
Now, which came first, the music or the comedy?
Pete has always been hilarious since I've known him. We grew up together riding skateboards. And then we started playing in bands together. This is actually our 30-year anniversary time we started playing. So he's always been hilarious and funny. But the comedy and music kind of came more recently with us. We, we tend to write more serious songs, and to kind of break that up a little bit, we write stuff to make each other laugh.
Okay.
And after a period of time, I think we realized that some of the stuff we wrote was pretty funny. We were still laughing at the same jokes years later. And we thought, you know what, if we still think this is funny, maybe other people will too.
That's cool. That's cool. I actually am a little bit of a musician, not much of one, but it turns out that people were laughing at me playing anyway. So I figured I might as well. It's back. It's, oh my goodness. So I figured why not try to make people laugh, because it's either that or they're going to cry when they hear me sing. So I can pass it off as comedy. Now, I'm assuming you have do you have like? Well, yes, I just realized I made a mistake here. Not, I take that back. I do a lot of interviews, and I think I just this is a question for somebody else. I put it on your sheet. I don't know why, but I'll ask you anyway. I'll ask you anyway. As a Black woman in comedy, no, did you find it hard to navigate the sexism in the comedy club? But don't. You just
100%.
As Black women, this has been a difficult ride for us. There's a lot of obstacles we've had to overcome, but the world's been changing, and we're happy the direction it's going.
That's thank you. I appreciate your clarity and your honesty in the way you answered that. Thank you. So so you guys have known each other for quite some time, and so did you played in a legitimate band way before the comedy with other musicians?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been in a band off and on, different forms of it or whatever, since we were around probably like 15. So again, probably like, what is it, like 35 years that we've been playing music together. Other bands that we form, would always come and go, and it always seems like it comes back to Brad and I doing music and things like this. So, like I said, a lot of respect for, when he writes things and everything. With us, everything's, on the table. That's kind of how, Come Over Here started. Songs that weren't quite have real lyrics, you kind of make up lyrics and things like that, and those real lyrics stuck. Coming up with just ridiculous things that don't make sense. We seem to like that. We like to play different styles, although we could kind of play more like punk rock is what we more gravitate towards, but we try to throw some other things in there with maybe the limited abilities that we actually have with playing this long with the instrument. But we just try to have fun is what we try to do.
Now, I just realized this, that I could almost compare you guys to the Beatles in the sense that when the Beatles first start writing their songs, they just make up silly lyrics. They just like Yesterday was initially Scrambled Eggs. It wasn't Yesterday. They had the music, and they used to sing Scrambled Eggs, da 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 da, and that was it. And
Is that true?
Some point, yeah. And at some point, they just quit. and gave up on scrambled eggs and then wrote yesterday. What kind of, and so what I appreciate about you guys, that you guys are not quitters. You don't give up on the funny, just because of society. Like the Beatles, like they sucked. They gave in. They gave in to pressure. They redid the lyrics. I mean, if you watch the documentary, there's like a 7-hour documentary about the Beatles and how of them and Abbey. What was it? Their Let It Be concert, their Let It Be album. It was a documentary, and they just sit there and just start off with humming stupid words, and they have no idea, and then they just cave into pressure and try to make them make sense. And I just think that's what I like about you guys. You guys are not quitters, is what I'm saying.
And that's really how it happens. And I think a lot of songwriters do that. You find a melody you like, and so you remember it. You just put in kind of silly lyrics or dummy lyrics as placeholders to kind of so you can remember that melody and kind of work it out. And for us, some of that silly stuff just kind of stuck, and we thought, there's no reason to change it. This is funny. Let's keep it and kind of use it for this project.
That's cool. Now,
and there's times where I'll reverse that quite a bit, as Brad knows, is we'll write, legitimate songs, and we're in the studio recording them, and I'll start doing stupid lyrics to them, almost parrying our own songs while we're doing them. Again, just to make us laugh, because sometimes in the studio, as much as we like to goof around and joke around, we always try to do like the best that we can with recording. It can get a little stressful. We can put a lot of pressure on ourselves trying to still play the best that we can. So sometimes just throwing those humorous things out there just kind of loosens up a little bit of that stressful tension that you might have for doing, the 30th take of one song or something like that.
Now with traditional stand-up comedy, guys will write a joke. When I say guys, I don't mean that like they're all just men. I mean there's guys and gals, but I'm not sexist. I just don't care enough to describe them all. Because then I'd have to break down to like I'm not saying guys in terms of gender, because I don't have time to go through all of the genders that are in comedy. But I'm just saying that some people, comics, they go out, they write a joke, and then they perform it for a crowd, and then they go, oh, that didn't work well. Let me tweak this. And then they'll go and perform it for another crowd and tweak it. Another crowd. Now it doesn't seem to work that way with writing, or at least with what you're doing. So is it more like a gut thing? Like, okay, this is funny to us. And what's the thing that you thought was the best thing that you've written that got the worst reaction?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't think we haven't been on the road enough yet to really get enough crowd reactions to kind of get that kind of feedback. But a lot of these songs, like I said before, we've had for a few years, and we still laugh at the same jokes over and over. And so I think that as long as we have confidence in it and we like what we're doing, that's what we put forth. And if other people like it and gravitate towards it, that's great. If not, we're still having a good time. And we're still laughing, and we're still having fun.
Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Host of Done Way Past Funny. This has been part 1 of our interview with Come Over Here. Join us for part 2, and when you do, bring a friend.